Initiated.
Hey YouTubers, we are on to Group B here. This is high stakes. Stork has to win this if he wants to force a tiebreaker here with Fantasy and Type B. If Stork loses, Stork's out. Fantasy and Type B will be able to move out because Fantasy will have 3 wins and Type B will have 2, and that will be enough for each to move out. And you know what? I think this is a bit different than the 08 finals between these two because Fantasy has become a much scarier player, especially versus Protoss, since Stork faced him in those OSL finals. He's gained a lot more confidence. He's gained some really awesome play, especially with his Vulture control. He's used Vultures very effectively versus Protoss. And if Stork wants to win today, he's going to have to keep those Vultures away. I mean, build cannons everywhere, pylon block, everything. Because, wow, 4, 3, 2, 1. If he lets Fantasy sneak those Vultures in, it's going to be over. Let's get the colors and positions. Go Stork! Bork power! Although Bacchus hasn't been doing too good, so the Bork power is kind of dwindling here. I think that might bring Stork down a bit. Screw you, Bacchus. But over here at the, up here at the 2 o'clock, awesome. Position is Stork in blue. And down here at the 5 o'clock in teal is Fantasy. But yeah, I do think this is very evened out now. This is not like the OSL finals between them when Fantasy could only win with cheese or something like that, with some crafty early rushes. This isn't like that at all. I actually think that Fantasy has a better chance of beating Stork than Stork does of beating Fantasy at this point, just because Fantasy has just become a monster, almost unstoppable monster in almost every matchup. Stork putting down his pylon. Let's get some predictions. Aerospace 11 writes, as for predictions, what can I say? Stork all the way. Varbind writes, or Varbind, whatever, Fantasy uses Vultures like a Roto-Rooter and destroys all while Stork squishes the remainder under his Dino Boot. I like that one. There is an awesome picture of Mecha Stork. Stork is coming in to destroy you. Wonder if he's for the Autobots or the Decepticons. I'm saying Autobots. Okay, Oxydox writes, Stork will win against everyone, 3 exclamation points. Tammy Susie writes, Fantasy will win all of his matches, but each time it will look like he's losing until the last 3 minutes of the games. There's a picture of Fantasy getting destroyed by Interceptors. Screw you. Although it says Kim on that carrier, that's not Stork's name. Stork's name is Songbanggu. I guess they're talking about Bacchus. There's a sign that says Nuke for President. I guess that was my only Korean subscriber, or one of 3 of them, I think. Pyoro Timjin writes, Bork power comes out in full. Hope so. Chikok. I should really read these out loud before I read them out loud in the commentaries. But Chikok2 writes, I think Fantasy beating Stork is not an upset. Always replying to someone else's prediction. Have you seen his TVP? It's one of the best with flash, but much more aggressive. There's a sign that says, Stork has man boobs. Oh, come on. Stork's not that out of shape. He doesn't look like Incruit OSL Stork, but yeah, he's still in pretty good shape. Although almost the entirety of the Samsung Con house, kind of interesting to me, they're all kind of gaining weight, which makes me think that, I don't know, they just haven't really been pushing the guys in the Samsung Con house all that much recently. I mean, Jangbi's not doing too great. Firebat Hero not doing that great. And Stork is really slipping a little bit too. So I think Samsung Con should think about maybe trying to bring another great player into their ranks. Well, it looks like Stork is coming down here with his Zealot, trying to keep those Marines away. But yeah, I think it would be a very smart idea for Con to draft someone at this point from another team. Just a very strong player. It doesn't really matter what race. Of course, they do need a good Zerg. They have Great. Great's pretty great, but he can't completely hold up their Zerg lineup by himself. But yes, the Samsung Con house, a little bit stagnant, but it happens to every team at some point or another. It's happened to SKT1, it's happened to KTF. I mean, if one player is doing bad, that kind of brings down the morale of the other players here. Fantasy is building a command center over there. He's going to take that mineral only behind his base, while Stork is just camping out here. Both of these guys are so awesome. I can't wait to see the tricks and foibles they both go through in this game, because Stork, very good micro, very crafty player, and he always comes out with some insane strategies. Like right now, he's trying to break the front and keep Fantasy occupied while he takes out Fantasy Scout. So Fantasy's going to have to come up here and try to bring in that Marine. All that Fantasy has is a single Marine here, which pretty much lets Stork know that he is expanding back there, because normally a Terran would have out about 4 or 5 Marines at this point to go along with that first tank. So Stork's been in this game long enough to know what that means. It looks like Stork is actually getting up his... he's going to get out a shuttle soon, so it probably means Reaver Tech. And I hope it means Reaver Tech, because Stork has some awesome Reaver micro Reaver play. Stork is building his mineral-only expansion right now, so he's going to try to compete with bases. Really, the only thing separating Stork from being a super S-class player, although I think Stork, on a good day, he can be an S-class. Oh my god, he's going to try to sneak a Dragoon through the minerals. I've never ever seen this, and he might be able to pull it off, but that Dragoon's pretty huge. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it. Like I said, he's pretty darn crafty. And even if he does this, he's going to have... Oh, I see why he's doing this. He's going to position that so Fantasy can't mine there for a while. But I've never seen a Dragoon sneak through a mineral line. I just don't think it's possible, because the Dragoon is so enormous here. But I guess it is possible. If Stork is going for this, he's probably gone for it in practice. But yeah, Stork looking a little bit exasperated there. He's saying, oh, very smart on Stork's part, building that pylon there, making sure that the Dragoon can't go back. I think he might have... he's going to camp out with that Dragoon, and Fantasy's going to have to pull his siege, at least one siege tank back to siege and get rid of that Dragoon. Very smart on Stork's part. That was awesome. Well, it looks like Fantasy is going to get out of dropship here soon. Try to do a little bit of dropship play. Stork. See, Stork is still in here picking at the SCVs with the hero Dragoon, the clumsy Dragoon that could not fit its fat butt through the minerals. And Fantasy, once he has siege mode here, he's going to be able to defend against this easily. Stork's still trying to get within range of the SCVs, but still out of range of that tank. And he's getting out his observer here soon. So this is a strategy I've seen Stork go for a lot recently. He kind of skips Reaver Tech and he goes straight for observers to deal with any mine rushes or something like that. But I think Fantasy is going to be able to get this done now. Fantasy, I'm not sure what he has in that dropship. I think I called it a shuttle earlier, but the dropship coming out here, but I'm not sure what he has in it. I didn't see him loading anything in, so it's probably vultures. Oh man, vultures. Keep those oh, Stork, very smart block from him. Look at this block from Stork. Man, Stork is just one step ahead of Fantasy here. Those poor vultures, like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. I can't get through. But yeah, Fantasy is getting ready to put down another expansion here. And Stork seeing the dropship coming out here, but Stork did not block this side of his base. He's going to try to defend this with Dragoons. I don't think he even had enough minerals to build enough buildings to block everything here. But yeah, he's got to keep those vultures away here. And keep Fantasy from getting too many probe kills. You see, he's trying to fight with probes. I'm not sure if that's the best idea in the world. Stork's probably got to run those probes. He's losing a lot of probes here. Oh, man. Fantasy did a lot of good economic harassment there. Those were only 2 vultures as well, so he didn't lose much in the process. And Stork has something in that shuttle, and I think it's going to be a Reaver or 2. So we'll see if Stork can come in here and get the job done with this Reaver troop. But Fantasy has some nicely positioned siege tanks here. He's getting ready to move out and hold his front, hold his natural expansion. Stork is coming up here with his shuttle. It looks like he's backing off with that shuttle, so he's not going for the economic harassment just yet. Uh-oh, the Wraith out. This is another new strategy I've been seeing a lot of Terrans go for recently. I think Fantasy might have actually pioneered this, but getting out that Wraith to stop the shuttle harassment, very, very smart. Just a single Wraith is all you need to basically track down a shuttle, because shuttles don't come with any anti-air. They usually come with, well, there's one Reaver. one Dragoon. So 1 Dragoon, 1 Reaver. That will be some anti-air for Stork, and he's picking up more troops. So he's going for double shuttle troops. Double shuttle. And he's going to come in here and try to drop and get some damage done, but Fantasy is already macroing up like crazy. He's getting out a lot of troops, getting out that Wraith. He's prepared for the Wraith. I'm not sure if he actually spotted these shuttles or not, but he's in a perfect position to intercept these shuttles. Oh, he finally sees the shuttles, so he's going to go down with his Wraith and try to stop this. He's going over with a small force of his own, but Stork is in here. He's going to try to kill the SCVs. Oh, dud Scarab. Fantasy is so lucky there.